Today I'm going to read you Epossumondas Plays Possum, written by Coleen Salley and illustrated by Janet Stevens. One summer morning, as butterflies flitted between the zinnias, Epossumondas and his mama were sipping sweet tea and chit-chatting about this and that. "Look, Mama, that butterfly just flew right into the swamp all by itself," said Epossumondas. "Why do you always tell me not to go into the swamp by myself?" "Land's sake, Sugar Pie, the swamp is scary and dangerous," Mama said. "Paths go every which way. You head down one path, then another, and the first thing you know, you're all turned around and lost. And you don't want to get lost in the swamp, because something's in there just waiting for little possums like you." You can see them on their porch drinking their sweet tea. There's little Epossumondas and his mama. "What is it, Mama?" "It's the loup-garou." "What's a loup-garou, Mama?" "I'm not sure, honey, but I suppose it looks like the most awful thing you could imagine." "What does the loup-garou sound like, Mama?" "I don't know, sweetie, but some say it has the scariest snarl you'll ever heard. Others say it has the meanest hiss, and some say it has the loudest snort." "What does the loup-garou do, Mama?" "Oh, that's the worst of all. If little possums don't mind their mamas, the loup-garou snatches them right up with its big ugly claws. So stay clear of the swamp, Epossumondas, and you'll be just fine. Now, I'll go inside and fix your lunch." Epossumondas went back to thinking about this and that, the loup-garou, the swamp, the butterflies, and when the prettiest butterfly he ever saw flew by, he started thinking about chasing it. Now, those of you who've met Epossumondas know that he is not a naughty possum, but he is a forgetful possum, and when he saw that butterfly, he plumb forgot about the loup-garous. Without a thought of what Mama had said, Epossumondas ran after the butterfly. You know where it went? Right into the swamp, and so did Epossumondas. He went off this way, no butterfly. He went off that way, no butterfly. He ran down path after path, every which way, no butterfly. Uh-oh. Did he get himself lost, do you think? Epossumondas stopped. "Which way do I go?" he wondered. "I'm lost." He remembered Mama's warning now, but he was too deep into the swamp to find his way back. Then, near a clump of cypress trees, he heard roar, roar, roar. "That's the scariest snarl I ever heard," Epossumondas gasped. "It must be the loup-garou. What do I do?" Then he flopped back, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. Roar, roar, roar! The critter came closer and closer and closer. Oh my goodness, look at Epossumondas. Did you ever hear the expression playing possum? That's where it comes from. So when a possum gets scared, it actually falls over and it looks like it's dead, but it's playing dead so that the animals, the predators, will leave it alone. And closer. Roar! "Hey, this possum is dead," it snarled. "I don't eat no dead meat." And it padded off down the path. Epossumondas opened his eyes. "Ah, that's no loup-garou. It's just a ferocious, terrifying old critter-eating swamp cat. So I'm not scared one little bit." But before he could run off, he heard "Sss, sss, sss." "That's the meanest hiss I ever heard," Epossumondas gasped. "It must be the loup-garou." So he flopped back down, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. "Sss, sss, sss." That slithering thing came closer and closer and closer and closer. "Sss. This possum is dead," it hissed. "I don't eat no dead meat." and it slithered away. Epossumondas opened his eyes. Ah, that's no loup-garou. It's just a terrible, slimy old possum swallow and swamp snake. So I'm not scared. One little bit. But before Epossumondas could run off, he heard snort, snort, snort. That's the loudest snort I ever heard, Epossumondas gasped. It must be the loup-garou. So he flopped back down, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. Snort, snort, snort. The creature stomped closer and closer and closer. Snort. Huh, this possum is dead, it snorted. I don't eat no dead meat. And it stomped away. Epossumondas opened his eyes. Ah, that's no loup-garou. It's just a nasty, crusty, old varmin-chomping swamp hog. So I'm not scared. One little bit. But before he could run off, an enormous, cold, dark shadow moved over him. A shadow with wings. A shadow with claws. Those big ugly claws will snatch me up, just like Mama said, Epossumondas gasped. It must be the loup-garou. So he stayed down, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. He felt the shadow come closer and closer and closer. And then those huge claws did take a hold of Epossumondas and snatched him right up. Was he scared? Maybe. But he was also ticklish, really ticklish. He just started wiggling and jiggling and giggling. He just couldn't help it. That shadow opened its claws and dropped Epossumondas like a hot potato. Why, this varmint ain't dead, it squeaked. I never eat no live meat. And it flapped away. Epossumondas looked up. Ah, that's no loup-garou. It's just a creepy, smelly, old bone-picking swamp buzzard. So I'm not scared. One little bit. As Epossumondas lay there, all worn out from playing dead, wondering how he would ever find his way home, he heard, Honey, where are you, Epossumondas? You answer your mama. Epossumondas hollered, Mama, Mama, I'm here. No less than a minute, he saw his mama running towards him. Oh, Mama, he cried, I forgot what you said and I went into the swamp all by myself. Mama scooped him up. Sugar, you need to listen to me. I was worried sick that loup-garou had gotten you. You mustn't have been scared to death. Oh, no, Mama. I didn't even see the loup-garou. Epossumondas laughed. All I saw was a ferocious, terrifying old critter-eating swamp cat, and then a terrible, slimy old possum-swallowing swamp snake, and then a nasty, crusty old varmin-chomping swamp hog, and then a creepy, smelly old bone-picking swamp buzzard that snatched me right up. So I wasn't scared. One little bit. You saw what, Epossumondas? Epossumondas, you don't have the sense you were born with. You gotta run away from those fearsome critters, too. But, Mama, I do have the sense I was born with, says Epossumondas. I just play dead like every good possum should. Well, you sure are my clever little pootie, Mama told him. Now, I think we've both had enough excitement for one day. Let's go find ourselves some of that sweet tea. So Epossumondas and his mama headed down the path towards home. So what is a loup-garou, you might want to know? Well, it's a French word for werewolf and has been part of Louisiana lore, which is the setting of Epossumondas. The legend of the loup-garou came to the deep south with European settlers who continued to pass stories down to the next generations. Although the loup-garou is most often thought to be part wolf, part human, in the South, it is also an elusive swamp creature with mysterious characteristics. What does it look like? What does it sound like? And is it real? No one really knows. But any possum that encounters a threatening creature naturally uses the defense mechanism of playing dead, or the expression you might have heard, playing possum, in order to divert the danger, and surely any possum would use that skill against the loup-garou, just like Epossumondas. I hope you liked the story.